Hi guys, welcome to a new Let's Play. It's time for the fucking Game Boy Advance version from full fat of Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 2. I'm Zin, and it's a two-parter. There's a reason why it's a two-parter. First off, it's the kid mode, which I think just makes it a tiny bit easier for controls, I guess, but as far as I know from kid mode, it's fuck all, really. I think it makes you shorter, if anything, maybe. Just, I don't remember what kid mode does. It's been a while since I've actually played this, because this recording was, like, a year back, I think. But, yeah, oh my god, I do not like this game. I didn't like Dave Mirra too, but, you know, you might have thought this game would maybe save things, but considering they all they either have flat or triangle chests in this fucking game apparently, and all of their bikes do the exact same fucking stats, so the bikes mean nothing in this game compared to the original Dave Mirra 2. And even I think Game Boy Color with the bikes and shit, like even that game, I think they had something a bit more to it. But here, nah, the bikes fucking meaningless really, so just stick to one and go for it. And by the way, there's a caveat that I don't want to introduce yet, but here we have Cloud9, Local Park, Warehouse, we also have High School, and fucking Titanic, and at the very end, Car Park, which we're not doing this part. We're doing Cloud9, where we have the scores, the spray can challenges, the mirror challenges, superstar challenges, and a few miscellaneous challenges you can say, like the Cloud9 stuff, and jumping over the entrance like that. And yeah, this is essentially the game. That's the star. That's for the superstar challenge. The point of this is to essentially do good, you know, get the points you need and shit, and go from there. I need to remember exactly the layout of a GBA controller again real quickly. Let me have a look at that. Yep. So from here we have B is, I believe, the grind button. A is your jump button. And right trigger is essentially your grabs in a way. Whereas the L trigger is essentially flips and spins. If you press up, down while on the ground and such, or down, up, you can do manuals as well. And that's pretty much the entirety of the controls. And as you can see, we've already done the Cloud9 challenge and like jump, grind, the curve, I believe it was. It starts off very, very easy for the most part when it comes to like the miscellaneous goals and for the most part the collectibles. You should not fall into this false sense of things are gonna be fine. Like, look at this. Like, everything is just flowing so finely. I'm gonna be able to beat this in, like, the one run. This is so good so far. There's no way this could be a problem. Don't fucking fall into that, because right when we get into level 2, the game starts to, you know, slowly show itself as we go along. It starts to, like, show how much of a fuckhead this game is. And, yeah, I mean, I have shown you how much of a fuckhead Dave Mirra 2 initially is. The GBA game, I swear to God, is pretty evil in its own right as well. It's not, like, a fucking, like, slow torture evil, though. This one is just gradual evil. Just gradual fuck you over and over again. Now, every time we unlock a new level, we get the stats. And that's how we get stats, by unlocking a level. That's it. You don't get stats from doing certain objectives or from, you know, completing the set. No, you get stats from essentially just unlocking a level. Which means, considering how many levels there are to unlock besides the first one of ours, yeah, we don't get many stat options. The good news is that we're going to get, in these first 2 levels, considering we're doing, like, the first set of shit, we're going to be able to get, like, 6 stat upgrades pretty quickly. But we're going to need to go a bit further if we want the next 6. And then the last one is the last one, which is like the final level. You're noticing I'm saying it like that. because this game, it really wants to play off the book of Dave Mirra in that there is the whole difficulty thing, where we are in the amateur challenges right now, then we get into pro, and then to, like, hardcore. That's how this game's gonna play, but we don't get the amateur set until we've gone through the first 3 levels. Then we beat the pro challenges by replaying these 3 levels, and then the next 2. And then we go through all the hardcore challenges, including the final level. So, we don't even get to play the final level until we're pretty much at the very end of the game. We don't get any kind of, like, you know, getting used to it kind of thing yet. No. You just jump straight into that final level, and you just gotta get fucking good at it and acclimated to it. And these levels are big. Like, for a GBA game, these levels tend to get fairly big, and even right now, these are pretty wide open spaces with a lot of just, like, for instance, grass around the place. And it literally becomes a fucking mystery hunt to find anything in this fucking game. Like, for instance, I missed a spray can. Where the fuck did I miss it? Well, I didn't check the very left bottom corner of the fucking map yet. Yeah, this one ramp is out of the way. There's the fucking thing. And this game is gonna pull that trick off a lot. But it's also gonna pull off some tricks that are much more douchey than just find the thing, bitch, sort of stuff. You know? It's gonna pull some shit, alright. It's gonna pull some shit. Now it's time for Warehouse, where that shit comes in. So, there's a few things I need to mention. First off, there are transfers in this game, but the way the transfers work are fucked. Either they're gonna act normal, or the game is going to be a bug about it. Like that. Or even worse, the game is gonna be very precarious about where it wants to count the transfer. This level really showcases, all in all, just the douchebaggery of these fucking transfer things, because genuinely, it sucks. And what's worse is that all these items we're collecting as well, they can get in the way of the objective sometimes. Like, sometimes, if you get an object, and then you complete a fucking transfer afterwards, the game tends to maybe bug out a little bit and not trigger it, so you end up not getting it. And there's another thing this game is picky about, and that is its score. You see, when we do get the score, it takes a bit for it to actually give you the score. So, you know, when you land the trick, you then have to wait a few seconds for it to then, you know, get the fucking points in. You're about to see why that's a problem. But right now, there's a few other things, like the hitbox on these objects. They're fucked as well. Sometimes you could just grab them without even being anywhere near them, and sometimes, even when you are near them, you don't get them, because they're still being picky at times. This game loves being a cunt, and it's not going to be, you know, ashamed of being a cunt. It's going to be just being very happy about being this facetious fucking cunt, okay? Like, it's not gonna be nice. Like, right here, I should get 30,000. I don't, though. See? I didn't get the 30,000, except guess what? I have 30,000. You see what I fucking mean? You see what I fucking mean? And you know what else? I gotta hit that little spot there for the truck gap. Anyway, the best way to get score is to do the stalls and just constantly jump, stall, which, there is something that reminds me of that. There's a game that reminds me of this trick. I'm sure you know of it, guys. I'm sure you know what I'm fucking talking about when I bring up this little fucking trick to get your goddamn scores and combos. 'Cause You really don't get much opportunity otherwise to get score. The manuals, they are fucked. They don't work very well. And, oh my god, you don't get many scores when it comes to normal tricks. And you don't get much air either. Anyway, we've done the amateur shit, now we're in pro class. Now we gotta go back through all 3 of those levels in order for us to be able to progress through and get to the next class, which is the final class. As well as to be able to get the fucking next 2 levels. And this is where things just start fucking breaking. Now, there is one other trick, and that is a wall kick. I believe to do a wall kick, it is either pressing pressing the fucking grind button at, like, the right time when you're going right up to the wall. Either it's that or the jump button. But ultimately, the timing window is not that big, and sometimes it just doesn't want to work. Sometimes it just wants to be a cunt and just not give it to you. And you hit the wall. You just bail on the wall, and you gotta eat shit. By the way, you're gonna bail a lot in this game. You're just gonna bail a lot. And the pro class is gonna really showcase to you why you're gonna bail a lot. Also this, if you're grinding or something and you jump over, like, a ramp, the game thinks that you're on the ramp, so you're stuck in the middle of the air for, like, a second or so until you're normally past the ramp area. I don't know how this game was really programmed and where the brain was with full fat, but I can tell you the game was, that the fucking brain was not in making this a good fucking game. Okay? Like, did you think that was a gap, by the way? Did you think that was how you do the challenge to long jump? You jump over that spot? Some of this shit, I had to fucking just blindly figure out, in a way. You know? Like, you're seeing, essentially, a recording that came afterwards, when I finally figured out what kind of fucking nightmare I was in for. And at this point, I deliberately did not do any of the hardcore challenges for the most part, except for, I think, this first level. And I was ready for pain just from the first level when I got to hardcore class. When we get into part 2, everything you're seeing here, you're gonna feel like the game is just fucking trolling you. Because, oh my god, if you do not have yourself preloaded in a way, like correctly preloaded, this might as well be a roadblock for you. The game might as well be telling you, restart from the very beginning because you fucked up. You know those moments where people are like saying, if you didn't do this choice, like in the very beginning of the game, you're locked into a state where you're gonna get a bad ending and the game will never tell you until it happens? This is the game gatekeeping you from beating the game at all if you don't realize this one thing. I'm not gonna tell you it until part 2 though, because I want you to realize, I want you to fucking realize how much of a fucking middle finger it is. Because I for the most part wanted to go fairly normal. Oh, by the way, you have to get the high rail gap to get this fucking high rail. If you don't get the gap, the objective does not count, even though I grinded that fucking rail already. Sure, game. Sure. Anyway, here's me getting the transfer. But wait, I didn't get the gap. You saw I didn't get the gap. Oh wait, it counted anyway. There is a gap to this, by the way, if you do it proper. But if you don't get the gap on the rails, you don't get it. Fucking sure, game, sure. You see what I mean about how much of a picky prick this fucking game is? It's gonna get worse. And it's gonna be picky in a way that is gonna be a roadblock if you're not, like, doing this correctly. Which is why you're kind of realizing that I'm not doing my usual thing of, like, you know, fucking, just getting myself ready in a way, you know? I'm not doing this thing where I'm just fucking, you know, just evening out the stats and such. Again, I'm getting myself ready, and even then, I seem to have not gotten myself ready enough to a point, and I legitimately had to re-record. I had to scrap an entire recording during my initial playthrough, and I had to re-record fucking everything. This is the re-recording. This is not the original recording. You're not seeing me fucking getting the brain process working. You're seeing the aftermath of that now. Now knowing the nightmare. Which, by the way, this fucking gap here, yeah, get to the speed, then jump over the wall, and guess what, it counts. Notice that most of my time here was spent mostly getting two things. A precarious grind jump, and that fucking wall jump. And then I got these transfers here, which is also precarious. Initially, when I went for this, I legitimately thought that the items around here bugged me. And by the way, this star is fucking stupid too. Unless you make amazing grinds, you have to do this. Anyway, those transfers, I'll get to them in a minute, because, yeah, like, I initially thought, oh, here's where the fucking manual finally comes in handy for me. Again, it doesn't like to work sometimes, but when it does work, you can utilize it to a good advantage. Again, when it works. If you're dealing with ramps, it likes to not work at all. Reverting isn't much of a fucking thing in this game, and neither is manualing down the ramp, because I've tried, and the game tends to hate me. Anyway, I beat the score shit, but I'm just really making sure I beat the score shit. Oh, and by the way, now we also gotta make blind jumps for these fucking letters. But we'll get to that soon. Right now, I'm doing these transfers. It's the Coil transfer, now we have to do all four of them. And initially, you know, it's working all fine and dandy, until we get to this last one, where I thought the game bugged out here. Because that didn't count. And then it never counts it again. And I thought, oh no, did the item fuck this? Did me getting that item actually fuck me from getting this transfer? No. No. Because remember that thing I mentioned about the game being picky? Yeah, it wants me to go from the middle ramp to the right for it. If I do it the other way around, it does not fucking count. And to make matters worse, fucking worse, this problem does not exist for the other 3 fucking jumps. It doesn't exist. You can transfer anywhere you like, any direction you like with the other 3, but for that one transfer, no. By the way, here's the spray can here. Nice. Anyway, here's me getting rid of all the other letters, like this fucking one here, where I don't even touch it and I grab it. But oh, fucking dear me, if I just go way too far up, I miss it. But if I just go a bit lower, I get it. And even then, you have to be, like, dead on. Like, right in the direction, you have to be dead on, or else you're gonna miss it. Like, height-wise, its hitbox is merciful, but horizontal-wise, no. No, it's not. There you go. So that's that level done, and now we're going back to the train area. Because, or the warehouse area, I mean. Because, yeah, it's time for fun. But first, I must get my stats up, because I do have a new level unlocked. And, you're noticing I'm putting it all on air and speed. And now I'm going to put it on hang time. Again, there's a reason for it. But now it's time for warehouse. And you may have noticed for a split second there was suddenly an arrow there. This game has extra areas. It expands the levels by essentially just putting another level worth of a map as like a transition. It already makes a fairly sized level bigger. Because you're starting to kind of notice in a way, or start to notice at least, this area is a bit empty now when it comes to items and what to do. There's not much to do here. Oh, but if you go over to that fucking door, where the arrow is now, you'll get a whole new area to play with, and it has all sorts for you to do there, compared to the initial area, where the game wants you to get the fuck out of that and go to the new one. Now, as far as I know, the game does not actually note to you that this is a thing. You just kind of have to figure it out by accident by noticing the arrow, which you kind of have to if you actually want to get anything done here. Also, the fucking lighting here makes no sense. Like, it's not even like regular light in a way, it just kind of circles in a way. Like, it's weird how lighting even exists in this game. How they went out of their way to put this lighting effect in for certain spots. And it looks bad. But yeah, for the most part, or maybe it's actually the rush meter thing, I don't know. What I do know is that that is a picky spot for that gap. And what's also picky is the fucking star here. You have to get on the train to get it, which is already a bit of a pain in the ass to do, considering how easy it is to end up falling off, and then you have to jump in the middle, not grinding, but from the middle of the train to get it. If you grind then jump, you're gonna miss it. That small shadow the game gives shit is not enough to deal with the fucking problem of figuring out where shit is. Especially when the shadow is in the middle of ramps, or otherwise is just complete fucking lying. So, hey, it's time for us to get this shit done. So let's leave this area now to get in this item and take care of the rest of the items, including the ones I've already fucking gotten. So, here's the R, and over here is another spray can, if I can get it. And then there's the A, I already got that, which I'll get it again, because we gotta complete the thing. But first, here's another spray can right here. I like that there's a brand called Useless, because it really does just fit the fucking theme of how you're gonna feel when playing this game. Fucking useless! Anyway, now we're done with all those 3 levels again, it's time for the new level, including the one we just finished opening as well. It's time for high school, but first, I must upgrade my stats. So let me just go ahead and put some on balance, like the fool I am. Yeah, please, put some of that on hang time, thank you. Anyway, time for high school in Illinois. And to start things off, I moved. I should not have moved. Me moving was a bad thing. Let me fix that real quickly. Let me just back the fuck out and fix that. There we go, now we got it. Because if I didn't just go straight, it's a pain in the cock to get that spray can. So, yeah, don't move. From the very beginning, do not move. Get the spray cans out of the way immediately. because then you can actually move after that and instead of having to worry about the fucking spray can. By the way, from, you know, how far I've gone with stats so far, I can make big jumps. I can get 25 feet up in the air and such. It's pretty neat, but it seems like a bit of an overkill in a sense, especially with this level where, again, that pickiness starts to come in, and in fact, the douchebaggery of this game really kicks in with this level, because there's shit that is not obvious at all with what you need to do. In fact, you're gonna be interested to know what this game is looking for with things like, I don't know, the grade B transfers, or getting the touchdowns, you know, or getting the hall pass. You'd think the hall pass would be an item, you know? You'd think it would be that, but no, it's not. It's fucking not, because this game's items are only spray cans and the mirror shit, and the stars. No, the fucking hall pass is a gap, and so is the touchdowns, and so is the grade Bs. But, how do you get these gaps? What is the entail of you getting these gaps? Well, first off, there is a star we have to grab, and in order for us to grab the star, we must use this grind here. We can't get anywhere else except from using this grind, because it's too far high up. But, we mustn't jump off the grind. No, we must fall off the grind. Because if we jump, we will jump over it. Because the developers are cunts. And they are doing this deliberately to be fucking cunts. Including these goals here. The first two grade B gaps, pretty simple, pretty understandable. You know, they're just these normal transfers. Where's grade B3? Is the transfer to that wall? No. Is it any other transfer? Is it like the big over the thing ramp there? No. No. The grade B gap. You're gonna find out soon. You're gonna find out soon. But right now, let me just go ahead and get that letter that I missed. Yeah, right here. There you go. So, here's the grade B. You gotta grind all three of these. Well, transfer one, then grind the other spot. Yeah. Even though they're the exact same fucking thing, you gotta do that, or else you're not getting the grade B thing. Oh, and those touchdowns? Well, to get those, you have to slow down, and then jump over and hit these specific fucking kickers to get them. If you go too fast, these will not count. If you're too slow and you hit the fucking floor, these will not count. And as for the fucking hall mark thing, hall pass thing, it's this. Was that obvious to you at all? Did you think that those were going to be the fucking gaps you're looking for? Because guess what? They weren't to me. I had to look up a fucking walkthrough to find some of that shit, including the touchdowns. Because the touchdowns, especially, were doing shit you weren't doing at all in the rest of the fucking game. The game didn't make you slow down to get shit. In fact, it wanted you to speed the fuck up. I feel like the game developers were thinking one thing and not realizing the fucking other. And here's Titanic, where they really note down for you, where if you are not doing it in a specific way, you're fucked. Again, there's a very specific thing that I'm not going to reveal until part 2. But let's just say, this level is the reason why. And even in Pro, it gives you a fucking hint that it's the reason why. And as a note, now that we're here, we only have one more opportunity for fucking stats. And, we can't undo our stat choices. We can't, like, back some stats out and then put them somewhere else. No. Wherever we put our stats, they are there for the rest of the game. I just want you to know that. I just want you to know that. At least a little bit of a hint, you know? I'm sure you figured it out at this point. I'm sure of me just talking about it constantly, you figured it out now. But, you know, I just want you to just fucking understand it immediately before we get into part 2. Because part 2 is where we're really going to start talking about the levels some more compared to what I'm doing right now. Because, really, everything I'm doing here is a fucking joke in comparison to the hardcore challenges. Everything. The thing is, this bullshit, some of these fucking challenges right now are, you know, coming fairly close to that fucking challenge from the very beginning of fucking Dave Mirra 2 with the grind thing. Remember the long fucking grind that everyone fucking complained about? Yeah, some of the challenges here in this fucking game are pulling that kind of difficulty. And we're not even in hardcore yet. We're not even in the challenges where a fuck ton of challenges are that fucking grind challenge difficult. We're not there yet. And unlike Dave Mirra 2, if you don't complete every challenge, you haven't been in the game. So you have to complete the hardcore challenges as well as the pro, as well as the amateur. If you don't complete them, you don't complete the game. 100% is the only way to actually beat the game. So, you know, just what I tell you. Like, as I'm about to tell you right now, that R, you see how high that is? It's a pretty high up R, isn't it? Luckily, I can grab it right now. Oh, okay, the fucking weird effect there is actually the rush bar. I guess it's the aura that we're rushing, you know? Anyway, I got my scores. Now I'm gonna get the fucking R, which, you might be thinking you have to jump across for, but no. No, the R is just jump high. Now, when I did this initially, when I did it originally, in fact, that R I did get, but just barely. I had to be straight as fuck for it. Right now, same thing, straight as fuck. But hey, I got it. And I'm gonna get the rest of the letters and, you know, get the whole fucking thing done. And now by the end of the part. And I just want you to know, right now, that everything you've seen here is easy. I know, that sounds like me being a fucking lying prick, but no, because next time we're doing the hardcore class, in the next and final part of this Let's Play, or quick play really, and next time, fucking next time, you're gonna see what I had to encounter and why this is my second time recording. Thanks for watching, I'll see you then.